Have you ever looked at your English journey and thought, maybe I'm just not good enough? Maybe you have studied for months, maybe even years, but when you try to speak, the words disappear. But what if I tell you, the reason you are struggling is not because you cannot learn English? The reason might be something much deeper.
Yeah.
What if I tell you?
Alex, what do you mean?
Because sometimes the biggest problem is not English. The biggest problem is that we give up too early.
You know, Alex, I think many learners feel this way. They start with excitement, but after some time, they lose motivation.
Exactly. And today, we're going to talk about something that can completely change the way you learn English. Not a new grammar rule, not a complicated vocabulary technique. A life lesson. The lesson of never giving up.
Alex, why do people give up so quickly when learning English?
That's a really important question. You see, many learners make one common mistake. They expect progress to happen overnight. They study for 10 days and think, why am I not fluent yet?
Honestly, that sounds like me. I remember studying new words for 1 week and then feeling disappointed because I still couldn't speak naturally.
Sarah, you are not alone. Millions of learners feel exactly the same. But imagine this. If someone goes to the gym for 7 days, do they expect a completely different body?
Of course not.
Exactly. Learning English works the same way. Your brain needs time. Every sentence you speak, every mistake you make, every word you learn, your brain is building a new connection.
So mistakes are actually part of improvement?
Absolutely. And this is the first life lesson. Mistakes are not proof that you are failing. Mistakes are proof that you are trying. Let me give you an example. Imagine a child learning to walk. The child falls again and again. Nobody looks at the child and says, "You failed 10 times today. Stop walking."
That would be terrible.
Right? Everyone says, "Try again. You are learning." But when adults learn English, they become too harsh on themselves. One small mistake, one wrong pronunciation, one forgotten word, and they say, "I can't do this."
Wow, that is actually true. We are patient with children, but not with ourselves.
But Sarah, there is something more important.
What is it?
Many people think successful English speakers are special. They think, maybe they have a talent that I don't have. But the truth is surprising. Most confident speakers were not confident in the beginning. They were simply people who refused to stop.
So, what should someone do when they feel like quitting?
First, understand this. Your goal should not be perfection. Your goal should be progress.
Can you explain the difference?
Of course. Perfection says, I will speak when my English is perfect. Progress says, I will speak today, even if I make mistakes. And progress always wins.
That is powerful.
Let's practice something together. If you are listening right now, repeat this sentence. I don't need to be perfect. I just need to improve every day. Again, I don't need to be perfect. I just need to improve every day.
I like this sentence because it changes the mindset.
Exactly. Because English learning is not only about language, it is about confidence. Can I ask something?
Of course.
Have you ever seen someone who struggled for a long time but finally became successful?
Actually, I remember one student, and his story teaches one of the biggest lessons about never giving up.
What happened?
His name was James. When James started learning English, he was extremely nervous. He understood English when listening, but when he opened his mouth, nothing came out. He thought he was not capable, but then he changed one small habit.
What habit?
A habit that looked too simple, but completely changed his life. He started speaking for only 5 minutes every single day.
Only 5 minutes?
Yes, and that 5 minutes became the beginning of his transformation. But the full story of James and the exact moment when he finally became confident. We will continue after this.
Alex, I'm really interested in James's story now, but before we continue, I want to ask something. Why does speaking every day help so much? I mean, 5 minutes sounds very small.
Great question. And actually, this is where many learners misunderstand the process. They think improvement comes from doing something big once, but real improvement comes from doing something small consistently.
So small actions create big results?
Exactly. Think about a person learning English like someone planting a tree. You don't plant a seed today and expect a huge tree tomorrow. You water it every day. A little sunlight, a little care, and slowly, something amazing happens.
I love that example.
The same thing happens with your English. Every day, you practice. 10 minutes listening, 10 minutes speaking, 5 minutes learning useful vocabulary, 5 minutes repeating sentences. These small habits train your brain.
So instead of saying, I need 5 hours every day, we should create a realistic routine?
Yes, because unrealistic goals create disappointment, and disappointment creates quitting. Right now, try something with me. Think about one English sentence you want to say confidently. Maybe, I want to improve my English. Now say it slowly. I want to improve my English. Again, I want to improve my English.
It feels simple, but I think repeating like this makes speaking less scary.
Exactly. Confidence is not something you wait for. Confidence is something you build through action.
Alex, let's come back to James. I want to know what happened next.
All right. Let me tell you what happened. When James started his 5-minute speaking habit, nothing magical happened on the first day.
Really?
Yes, and that is the part many people don't understand. The first week was still difficult. He forgot words, he made pronunciation mistakes, sometimes he felt embarrassed.
So he still struggled?
Absolutely. But something changed. He stopped judging himself. Instead of saying, my English is terrible, he started saying, I'm improving. And that small change in thinking completely changed his journey. One day, James had to speak with a foreign customer at his workplace. Before that moment, he would usually avoid conversations. He would look down, he would stay silent. But that day, something was different.
What did he do?
The customer asked him a question. James felt nervous. His heart was beating fast. His mind said, don't speak, you will make mistakes. And then he remembered his daily practice. 5 minutes, every day. Thousands of small attempts. And he answered, not perfectly, but confidently.
Wow. So the goal wasn't perfect English. The goal was having the courage to use English.
Exactly. That is the real lesson.
Alex, I think many learners need to hear this because they're waiting for the perfect moment.
Yes, and the perfect moment usually never comes. You have to start before you feel ready. Look at all successful people. Athletes, writers, business owners, language learners. Nobody starts as an expert. They become experts because they continue.
But what about fear? Fear of mistakes? Fear of people laughing?
Fear is normal. Let me say something important. Feeling nervous does not mean you should stop. It means you are doing something challenging.
That is a very different way to see fear.
Exactly. Imagine your brain is like a muscle. Every time you challenge yourself, it becomes stronger. Every time you avoid something, fear becomes stronger. But Sarah, there is one more hidden reason why many people fail at learning English.
Another reason.
Yes, and this one is surprising. Many people don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because they compare their journey with someone else's journey.
Oh, I think many people do that. They see someone speaking fluent English online and think, why am I not like them?
Exactly, but they don't see the years of practice behind that person. They only see the final result.
So comparison destroys motivation.
Yes, your only competition should be your previous self. Ask yourself, am I better than yesterday? Did I learn one new thing? Did I speak one extra sentence? If the answer is yes, you are moving forward.
That actually feels much more positive.
We will talk about the final secret of people who never give up, the mindset that keeps them moving even when progress feels slow.
Alex, I have been thinking about everything we discussed today. Mistakes, consistency, not comparing ourselves with others, but I still have one question. What is the biggest secret of people who never give up?
That is probably the most important question of today's conversation. And the answer is not what most people think.
Really?
Yes, many people believe successful people never feel tired. They think successful learners are always motivated, but that is not true. The biggest secret is this: they continue even when they are not motivated.
So motivation is not always necessary.
Exactly. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings change. Some days you feel excited. Some days you feel tired. Some days you think, I don't want to practice today.
That happens to everyone.
Exactly. But successful people create habits that continue even when motivation disappears. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't wake up every morning and say, am I motivated enough to brush my teeth today?
No, we just do it.
Exactly. Because it became a habit. Your English practice can become the same. 5 minutes of speaking, 10 minutes of listening, a few new words, small actions, repeated every day.
Alex, I think many learners are too focused on the final destination. They want fluency immediately.
Yes, and sometimes they forget to enjoy the journey. Learning English is not only about reaching a level, it is about becoming a stronger version of yourself. Every time you speak, even though you are nervous, you become braver. Every time you learn a new word, you become better. Every time you correct a mistake, you become smarter.
That changes the way we look at learning.
Exactly. Remember this: confident speakers are not people who never make mistakes. They are people who are not afraid of mistakes.
I wish every English learner could hear this, because many people quit just before they improve.
That is so true. Sometimes progress is happening silently, like a seed under the ground. You cannot see the roots growing, but something is happening.
Wow, so just because we don't see results immediately doesn't mean nothing is happening.
Exactly. Keep watering your seed. Your growth will come.
Alex, can we give listeners a challenge? Something simple they can start today?
Of course! I want everyone listening right now to try the Never Give Up Challenge.
I like that name.
For the next 7 days, number 1, speak English for 5 minutes every day. It doesn't matter if you make mistakes, just speak. Number 2, learn 5 useful sentences, not random words, complete sentences. Number 3, listen to English for 10 minutes. Train your ears.
That sounds realistic, not overwhelming.
Exactly. The goal is not to do everything perfectly. The goal is to keep moving. Now, repeat this sentence with me. I am improving every day and I will not give up. Again, I am improving every day and I will not give up.
That is a powerful sentence to remember.
Yes, because sometimes you need to remind yourself why you started.
Alex, today's conversation really changed the way I think about learning English. Before, I thought successful learners were people who learned quickly, but now I understand they are people who continue.
Exactly, Sarah. And to everyone listening, remember this. Your English journey is not about becoming perfect overnight. It is about becoming better every single day. Maybe today you learn 1 new word. Maybe tomorrow you speak 1 more sentence. Maybe next month you have a conversation you never thought was possible. Every small step matters.
Before we finish, I want to ask our listeners something. What is the biggest challenge you face while learning English? Is it speaking, vocabulary, confidence? Share your answer because your story might help another learner too.
And remember, never be afraid of making mistakes. Never compare your beginning with someone else's middle. And never give up. Keep listening, keep learning, and keep improving.
See you in the next lesson. Goodbye.